All right, let's see. Let me make sure we're going live. See when it starts. Make sure that it is live. All right, cool. The ads are rolling. And we are all good to go. Just make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. We are live and good to go. Let me share it. We're mainly here to just kind of shoot the breeze for like a half hour and, have some fun. If you guys just want to talk about whatever, we're here. I just have it listed as the live show, not necessarily picks before lock or anything, because clearly, the race is tonight. We still got to qualify people in, but I'm not going to be able to do a live show in between the end of the Open and the start of the All-Star race. And I'm also not playing much of anything here. I'm doing one line and very, very little money in that one line. Figured I'd at least talk about it because I have had questions this week about the All-Star race, but for the majority of what this race is, it's not really worth putting any real time and effort into it. I'm not even going to watch the All-Star race. I got a league race tonight that I'm going to be doing on iRacing, and I don't care about the All-Star race. That's just where I'm at. But we can very easily start talking about let me just tweet this. Yeah, that's mainly the main takeaway, and then I'll talk about picks in a second. Actually, I'll just talk about it right now. I think the guys that are clear favorites to be played are Bowman, Hamlin. I think I'll most likely. Let me change that. I'm playing Denny Hamlin and Alex Bowman tonight. I wish Chastain is interesting. He's the guy closest up that I'm tempted to play. Uh, Clearly, I mean, we're still chasing laps, led and fast laps as well. However, with how short this race is, I feel way more comfortable chasing place differential. With how the race is divided up, I'm worried that the people who end up winning the first stage, because they're guaranteed, a spot in the final four, or not the final four, but to start at the top four entering the last stage. I'm afraid they just ride. Like, clearly they have to finish above. I think it's 15th. So, you can't just sandbag and finish last. But that's going to be easy. Like, if you win the first stage, you can just ride an eighth, knowing that you're starting first. Just take care of the car and stuff. Hell, you could even ride in the back of the field right at the cutoff point. And if you have the better car, you can just finish, ahead of whatever cutoff point NASCAR has. And I'm very much concerned that the laps led, just get spread out, and it'll be between guys who start up front, and the guys with place differential will just end up, finishing or outscoring people, like Denny Hamlin, for example. I got him passing 12 cars. I think he's going to be in the top 5 at the end of this race. And even if he's not, I mean, I got him nearly projected for 53 points today. Even if you lower that projection and make Hamlin around 49, 48, I mean, it makes Hamlin a fantastic play. It makes Bowman a fantastic play. Hell, I don't even have him at a top 10. There's so many guys in the back that are just going to score 5X very easily. And we haven't even gotten to the open drivers. We'll most likely have Tyler Reddick in there as well. And I think when Reddick gets locked in, the play is Hamlin, Bowman, and Reddick. That's the main takeaway there. Combine them with Christopher Bell, and then if you want to chase a lap leader or not, that's how I'd want to approach it. And that's really the takeaway. Welcome to the show. Thank you for watching. And that's really all the All-Star talk that we have. Good morning, family man. It's good to see you back once again. Good morning, Kemper. I'm praying to God I don't just absolutely destroy these names. Big Grip, happy to have you here. I know you're always showing up. At least you caught me live today, or you caught it right at the start versus joining later in the show. But I mean, that's really it for the All-Star race. In terms of not underdogs, but actually I do need to end up. Okay. Let me tweet this real quick. Feel free to drop in any comments, any opinions. I mean, if you want to call for the second Holocaust, I really don't care. We need some content up in this video, so feel free to fill the comments. Feel free to fill the chat. I'd like to be live for around 30 minutes and just kind of have some fun and talk. Talk a little bit about the All-Star race. All-Star race. Boop. I'm gonna put hashtags at the bottom of this either. We're just gonna straight up share this. 22 of you guys here. I do appreciate it. Good morning. See, I'm terrible with names. I'm absolutely gonna Joan is the E at the end silent? I apologize, but thank you for being here. And yeah, without the first, yeah. Well, let me tweet this first. Then we'll get into the rants. We'll get into the real content that I know people want. Should we talk about the All-Star race? Okay, cool. There we are. Okay, I got that tweeted out. I put in the Discord, man, because I was working on F1 also. Not an outrageous thing, but I don't know if you guys woke up early enough. I don't know if you did play F1 or not, but there was absolute overlay across the board. I don't know if it was because of the 8 a.m. start. I don't know if it's because Monaco's next week. I don't know if it's just because people just kind of don't care about F1. But there is absolute overlay in every single contest. So when I woke, I was only going to do like 3 lines, and I had 2 with Max Verstappen to start, 1 with Leclerc. When I saw the overlay, I threw in 7 lines in each one, and it wasn't a major day, but I am quite proud of actually cashing with all my max lines with 100% Kevin Magnussen. Unfortunate, man. If I make one pivot with Schumacher, and hell, I made money. I didn't even lose money on F1. But I had 100% Magnussen, and it sucked right off the bat to have him get in the back of the field and just get trapped there. But it's a good morning for F1. You know, we absolute dumb luck that Leclerc blew the motor. I ended up with 2 Leclerc lines, 5 Verstappen lines. Lando Norris. I talked. Did Lando end up being what was the optimal line? I'm sorry. We'll talk about the pit selections and stuff in a second. But how many guys here? 26. What was the optimal day for F1? I haven't even looked at that yet. My highest scoring line in at 460th with Magnussen, so that's not bad. Verstappen was the captain, Russell, Latifi, which was the pivot off of Albon. Unfortunate there. Sonoda, I played, I think, 80% Sonoda, and Vettel was the play. I could have swore it was probably before I think Lando was in the highest second scoring line. No, he wasn't. I thought for sure Norris would do it. I get in there anyway. Sorry, we're trying. I'm trying to come up with content here. In terms, anyway, going back to so I was doing the F1. Hold on, I gotta type this here. Sorry, I'm answering a question and question in Discord. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So and I was doing the F1 projections, and I had the All-Star qualifying on my second screen just because I gotta watch something. I'm at least gonna check it out. And have we never been to a drag strip before? And look, I'm not a huge, gigantic fan of drag racing, but I've at least been to a drag strip. I'm at least aware of what it's like. And so the fact that NASCAR went to the trouble of building like the Christmas tree lights, but then having all of them pop off at once, that doesn't do anything. You might as well just have one light. Like, And then I don't understand where we like for all the progressive stuff that NASCAR is doing. And I'm not here to be like, oh my gosh, we can't objectify women because I am a straight male. Uh, but it was just very odd that out of like NASCAR has been clearly, getting rid of the Monster Energy girls and and the women in Victory Lane, just the sponsor gals. And then we have the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders walking around with the 10-second timer. Like what is this? It's like we took it I mean they're in Fort Worth, like okay, close to the Cowboys. Let's bring the cheer and then I don't know. It was very weird. Like when you look at how UFC does it, and then when you look at how NASCAR did it, NASCAR was like in a very that was just very awkward to watch. I was like, what is she doing there? That's like very out of character for what NASCAR is going for now. And she's also like just standing there. Like clearly she was just, and I'm not faulting her. She was just told, hey, stand here, hold the sign. Whenever we give you the 10-second warning, hold the sign up. But there was clearly a miscommunication between the TV booth, whoever was telling when the actual thing was going to start, and her, because it was hilarious when they're like, all right, here's the 10-second timer, and then we're there for 2 minutes, and then they say, okay, the 10-second clearly I don't know what 10 seconds is, because it was 10 seconds for 2 minutes, and then it was 10 seconds for 5 seconds. And so, Eric, I'm rolling at the short end of the stick there. Secondly, I literally had a DM talking about, is this a clear indication of where these teams are in pit road data and in terms of speed? And no, it's not. Yes, Kyle Busch has been fast in pit road, but if you looked, he basically broke the system in this thing. It was clearly, look, the pit stop is going to be the longest portion of that stupid qualifying. The sooner you start that, you're golden. And so all the other cucks who just slid through the pit stall and got screwed. The thing that won it for Kyle Busch was that he basically just didn't even make it into the pit stop thing. And like yet again, the broadcast isn't catching up on that. I don't know why. Like, do we not have brains in the broadcast booth? Like, what's going on? They're like, man, that 18 is just fast. And I was like, no, you idiots. He's starting the pit stop before that. That's literally all it is. And even thinking about it, you might as well just race through pit road and have the crew push him at the end. Like the race down the back straightaway is useless. It's all based on where you enter the track. I don't know. It was all just it was all weird. It was so yet again, anything that NASCAR ever does, anytime they try and branch out, which is why I just don't like the All-Star race, man, for the last 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, I haven't enjoyed it. I just want the straight up race. Anytime they add these things in there, it just doesn't, it's not fun to watch. So yet again here, they just absolutely screwed this up. So there's that, at least we have Chastain starting 6th. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, we have him starting 6th. But I don't know. That's how I am there. Ooh, man, I was sweating. Well, I was sweating. I was absolutely sweating bullets yesterday. I hate it when I'm that aggressive on somebody, and when I talk about being that aggressive on somebody, and then he wrecks twice, and if the race goes green, CJ has to start in park. They ran out of tires. He ran 2 sets of tires for the last 100 laps. And he ran the last stage on 1 set of tires. He was out of tires. If that race goes green, CJ finishes dead last. So it was a good call. But I don't know, man. We got lucky on that, really. That's really all it was. And then we got super lucky that CJ ended up outscoring Gregson and Ty Gibbs. No, not Ty Gibbs, because Ty Gibbs, he still got up. I was surprised Ty Gibbs was even still in the race. I remember I saw him running 14th. I ended up having, what did I end up going with? I had my one Reddick line was up there. I had, thank God I actually went higher on William Myron than I thought I would for that exact situation, because I was worried that Gregson wouldn't be able to lead and then the lead would be swapped a lot. So I ended up going with more Byron than I thought I would. So that ended up being a good call. But I mean, Texas got ugly. I hate races like that when it just turns into a wreck fest. Because then it just goes to survival. Like Anthony Alfredo still outscored people, but I had Alfredo nearly every line as well, and so that's just how it went. But either way, there's that. And shout out to Awuji, man. Shout out to Awuji for joining that wreck 5 hours after the caution comes out. Awuji has never seen a wreck he hasn't wanted to be a part of. He hasn't wanted to be a part of. Sorry, I do apologize. You did actually ask a question 10 minutes ago, and I'm just barely getting to it now. I have Bubba, and I'm being pretty liberal with my projections today. So right now, I got Bubba projected for 13th right now. That's 36 points, 5.5 value. Actually, I actually have him for 12. My bad. So I got him for 36 points. That's where we're at. In terms of construction or lineup construction, and where we're probably where we're probably going to end up going. It's Bubba Wallace is probably going to be the chalk because he's going to outscore Eric Almirola. AJ's the only one I think that can beat him, and I don't foresee us getting Haley in the race. Burton, Ty Dillon, LaJoy, Gillen, Castle. I don't see them making the race, and so I'm pretty sure Bubba Wallace is going to be the chalk there. For me, I'm very tempted to not play Bubba and play Keselowski. Because I think Bubba's going to have more ownership because he's going to be the lowest you can go. And people are going to be stacking in all the more expensive guys. And so for me, I think I'm going to play Keselowski just to get off of the Bubba Wallace chalk here. And yet again, I'm doing one line. I'm playing basically no money. Okay. Just because I'm here, I got to make the projection anyway. I'm going to throw one line into it. And this just, it reminds me of a dual race. And so we performed very well at the duels this year. And so it just reminds me of a dual race to where there's certain guys I like. I just want to do, the one line, and I kind of want to get off the chalk in one situation. I think Bubba Wallace is going to be the chalk today. And I would like to get off that and play Keselowski. Just because I think he's going to come in lower owned than Bubba Wallace does. That's where I'm at there. Oh no, that blows. Is it just Ontario or all of Canada? I assume it's just the province of Ontario. Wow, I'm really showing I'm an idiot. Because I am unaware if it is a province. Hell, yes, thank God. I do know what I'm talking about. As soon as I said that, I was like, I hope Ontario is a province because I said that with a lot of confidence. So, okay, I at least understand that. But that is unfortunate that happens, and I wish everything, like, I mean, I'm very much I'm very liberal in that sense. I just wish everything was legal. If you want to do drugs, do whatever you want. If you want to bet, feel free to do that. Online poker, feel free to do that. If you want to bet on horses, do that online. I don't really care. Like, let's have just unregulated gambling. Remember back in the day, around 5 years ago, and certainly around 2012, 2011, DK, FanDuel, all these fantasy sports sites did not want to use the word gambling. It's funny kind of looking at it back in hindsight now of how aggressive they avoided any use of the term gambling or anything like that. And now we're here, where we're at now in 2022. Either way, it's unfortunate that your province government is doing that. Yeah, Max is a beast. That was a good race, man. I can't believe he was that fast out DRS. That's crazy. I agree. I agree. That's how I look at it. I also agree that I think this is dumb. I think it's gonna be hard to move up as well. Also, Texas is slowly racing better. It's slowly getting better than I thought it would. It's still bad. It was a terrible design choice. Texas isn't going to close, and I think we're at the point of where Texas is getting close to deciding what they want to do. Not close, because Texas is going to close the racetrack. Um, if they can build, it's either tempted that they're going to go back and reconfigure it to be the original Texas Motor Speedway, or straight up just build another Atlanta at this point. I feel like we got a couple more years left of this track, maybe 4 or 5, and then they're going to have to bite the bullet of being like, okay, we'll invest another million and a half to re-renovate this track in hopes that we can easily bring in 12-20 million during the weekends. I forgot what Phoenix makes. Like, if Phoenix, I forgot how big Phoenix is, but if you got 40,000 people times, let's say, let's do 100, I mean, that's 4 million. And I did 100 just as like an average ticket price. Clearly, some are more, some are less. But you can easily bring in millions and millions. Texas Motor Speedway and SMI can easily recoup the money that they put back in. They're just at the point right now where they're deciding when to bite the bullet to reconfigure turns 1 and 2. The reason I say that is because I'm 4 hours away from Texas, and even sitting here this week, I was like, I haven't been there. I can get an Airbnb or something and head down there. So I don't know. I was just thinking that this weekend. That hell, if I wanted to, I could have gotten up this morning, drove to the track, bought a ticket, and been there tonight. That was just my little thinking there. Yeah, that was rough. Unfortunate, man. Bubba really showed the speed, man. He showed the speed. It was still. I'm so proud of the week. I mean, I didn't play any Kurt Busch, but I am so happy entering next week at Charlotte for all this. Just keep ranting. I haven't even paid attention to who's leading the fan vote. I don't think they give out who's leading. They just say, these are the top 10. I'm gonna assume it's Suarez. I think Suarez will probably win the fan vote, because I don't know how you'd be like, I'm an Eric Jones fan, I'm an Austin Dillon fan, maybe Stenhouse, but those would be the only 2 guys there. I wish we had a situation where we had like a Josh Wise Dogecoin situation again, to where Reddit just locks him into the race. That'd be funny. Between Byron and Truex today, I currently have Truex project. Actually, they're very even right now. I have a slight lean to Truex, but that's because I am giving Truex a little bit more fast laps than Byron. They're basically identical plays for me. Byron's going to be lower owned, so if you really do want to just have it come down to an ownership play, Byron's going to be lower owned. But I think Truex is the better play, and I don't even think Truex is going to be that high owned anyway, especially with how small some of these contests are today. I think you're fine with playing Truex. Yeah, this is horrible. Bro, that race got fucking crazy, man. Yeah, man, thank Christ alive. I didn't even mean to do it. I just ended up with more with I didn't have nearly as many lines as I thought I did with both Gregson and Gibbs, and both those combined, I think, it ended up being like 60% of my lines. So I had 40% of my lines not have either one of those 2 guys in the thing. And so I got more lucky there than anything. And yeah, this race is certainly, I mean, I think the optimal is going to have the 1 lap leader. I have no clue. No, I hate to say it, man. But that's also why I'm not doing a heat map today either. When we get the people who are locked into the race, I'm just putting it up on Patreon, the projections itself. Not going into the heat map, not going into the cores or anything, just because, I mean, my advice is legit: don't put money on this race, and don't watch this race. Go spend time with your family. Like, go smoke meth in your living room. There's so many more things that you could do that would be more enjoyable than watching this Texas race, because after the first 8 laps, it's going to be a boring race. That's what saved the truck race. Truck race and Xfinity race was saved because they were so short and they had so many restarts. It at least made the race interesting. And at least, there's technically like two lanes here now, but now it's at the point to where, well, now they end up putting so much PJ1 or traction compound on the outside lane to where once that comes in, that's a dominant lane. And so we're just in the same situation where, Texas is still a one groove racetrack. Yeah, and that line was looking awesome. I mean, we were doing well. I was making a few hundred before the big wreck, and then I ended up not losing all my money post the big wreck. So that just we got lucky there. And there's been some times this year where I've just lost it all on Xfinity. So I'm happy it was not one of those. Bro, when I heard them talking about bacon, I wanted to kill myself. That was the worst. I know they're trying to fill time. I know, but man, that is a sign that they were over the Xfinity Series. I don't know why we stayed under yellow for so long either during that period. We were just losing laps under caution there. But I will admit, Logano made me laugh out like not like a chuckle. Like I laughed pretty hard when they showed Harvick's car and Logano said, "How many times are they going to go through tech?" That's funny. Like, I mean, Logano is a piece of shit, but he's good. He's good in the booth, man. Uh, he is good in the booth. Yeah, I'll probably do that as well. Probably do that in the 15 and the 4 and call it a day. Just because it's gonna be rough. Oh yeah. Back when they called it, this is skill, and it is skill based. Look, DFS is very skill based. Luck does come into it a lot, and you usually need luck to go from, a line that's going to finish 11th to taking down a tournament. But I was watching. I remember watching. I think it was NPR. They did I think it's called the Fantasy Sports Boom, and it was filmed in like 2013, 2014. And I recently rewatched that on YouTube just to really check it out again, and it was kind of baffling to see how much they really like skirted the, yeah, this is a skill based, it's not gambling, blah blah blah, and that was just interesting. It didn't, yeah, LaJoy could get it, but I don't see anybody voting for LaJoy. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd love that Texas has a racetrack, and the old Texas at this point would have been a great track because we are losing those cookie cutter tracks. Like, if anything, NASCAR could have looked at Atlanta and Texas, and between the two races, between the two tracks, like by how they're constructed, Texas was primed to be the super speedway track, and Atlanta just be repaved. In hindsight, that's what they really should have done. They should have kept Atlanta the traditional cookie cutter mile and a half, and built Texas into the what Atlanta is now. I'm sure they'll do something funky with Texas here, but I wish they wouldn't. They're not going to sell it. They're not going to close it down. It's in a great spot. But it's unfortunate that, and Texas, it's a beautiful track, man. I look at Texas and I'm like, God, I love the walls. The grass looks great. The scenery is great. It's such a beautiful looking facility. It's just, just Texas right now. Galaxy Brain is don't play, and I think it's Christopher Bell. I think it's Christopher Bell. Maybe even Cindric, but in terms of trying to pick a guy who's going to be optimal that people might try and get off, I think it's going to be Christopher Bell. Galaxy play would be Kyle Busch and Chastain or Larson, and I assume what people are going to do is they're going to pick one of those three and then build a place differential. Galaxy Brain could just be say fuck it and play off place differential. That could be the approach. I do want to see. That's why I'm waiting. Clearly, I mean, I've done a projection for the top 20 guys, but I assume Reddick is going to qualify in. I assume Suarez is going to be there as well. Reddick is going to be there. Reddick, I'm going to project Reddick for probably a sixth place finish, seventh place finish today. So he's probably going to be optimal. It just goes to who gets pushed out of the optimal due to the place differential play. The Galaxy Brain is to try and just land on the correct lap leader. And I just do not. I don't know who that is, man. I do not know who that will be. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know. Yep. 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 Yeah, that's it. That'll be it. Bowman as well. Add that to Bowman. It's so unappealing. Actually, FanDuel is the interesting one because I don't believe FanDuel adds the people from the Open. I could be wrong, but I'm trying to think back if they've done it in years past. I don't think they do. And so FanDuel is interesting because you just have the pool of the guys locked in right now. I could be wrong, and clearly if they do, then play Reddick and stuff. But I don't think they add people who race in. And so FanDuel is very much a place differential play today. That's all I'm doing on FanDuel. And I actually prefer and typically I don't like FanDuel's contest. I enter lineups and I usually enter about 7-10 lines on FanDuel. But I like FanDuel's contests more today than on DraftKings due to that it makes it you kind of have three, like what is it? You have three variables that FanDuel is not going to have in play that are going to be affecting, the finishing positions of the guys that are playable. And that at least shapes it up to be somewhat entertaining and somewhat fun. But yeah, for FanDuel, just chasing place differential and hoping that my place differential guys don't get passed by the guys who race their way in on the Open. So that's that. Yeah, haven't before. Okay. Thank you, Clutch, and thank you, Andy. I couldn't remember. I know FanDuel doesn't care at all about their DFS product, but I wasn't sure if it was. Like I said, I just remember them not adding people in the past for the All-Star race, but I didn't know if that was just me forgetting things or actually remembering stuff. So yeah, the FanDuel is actually pretty interesting, and those are actually about to fill up today. So hey, maybe pulled your money from DraftKings, and if you're really planning on playing something, play the 5, the 2, and maybe the $3 single entry on FanDuel, and then call it a day. You probably got less money in that than the $12 on DraftKings Clutch. So maybe try that out. And yeah, let's see. We're here for 30 minutes. I did not think I'd last 30 minutes just being here ranting and really not talking about stuff at all. But I like ad revenue, despite how small it'll be. So that's why I still want to do the live show. Still want to come up here and talk. Yeah, I mean, variance it's been crazy this year, which that's what it is, with how these contests are set, you got to play for, the big pay, once every 20 something contest you do. As long as you're like either breaking even or not having to redeposit, you're having a good day. Like that's really what it boils down to. And then you get like yet again F1 today, didn't take down $1,000, but I don't have to redeposit. And I made money on F1. That's really all it is. Just as long as you're not having to redeposit onto the site, I take that as a win. And then as long as you're lining up, like I said last week, you scored very well, even if you didn't play Kurt Busch. If you just attacked the guys who have been fast at the mile and a half this year, entering the Coca-Cola 600, it's going to be the same guys that you should have, same guys that you played last week at Kansas are the same guys you're playing this week at Charlotte, and that's what it comes down to. But single entry is incredibly tough for NASCAR right now. Yeah, I mean, I like one, I like building lines, and two, I do enjoy multi-entering more. Typically, when I do the single entry, just because I either don't like the slate or it's incredibly chalky. Like, this is I think this is a perfect race to play single entry. If you do want to play stuff, like, I don't want to be building a ton of lines. I don't want to be doing a lot of stuff. And yeah, that's really where I'm at there. I can't think of anything else to rant, or I can't think of any more things to rant about right now. Trying to think. I don't believe there. Oh, okay. We'll end with this. I know some of you guys don't watch Counter-Strike. I know some of you guys don't care about esports. But today, 2 p.m. Eastern, the Antwerp major grand final between FaZe and Navi is going to be electric. You don't got to worry about NASCAR. NASCAR is later. I would, for me, maybe around 2 p.m. Eastern, go on Twitch, search up CSGO. You'll see the PGL stream. Tune in for a little bit. Just tune in. It's the Super Bowl. It's not the Super Bowl because they have, majors every, 3 to 4 months. But I think it's the pinnacle of entertainment. It's certainly for esports and stuff. I'm going to be watching the grand final today. And yeah, that's the main takeaway. That's my Sunday, watching Counter-Strike. Me and Frankie, my best friend in real life, we're going to be on Discord watching the grand final for at least the first 3 maps before I have to. I think that's probably about the time when qualifying for the All-Star race will start. But yeah, like, man, check out CSGO, dude. It's incredible. This major has been awesome. Like, Stockholm was great because it was the first major back from COVID, but the teams were stagnant. You knew how everybody would perform, and it was pretty easy to just see Navi would show up this week or at Stockholm. Whereas this major, the games have been extremely close. The last 3 days have put on some fantastic Counter-Strike. Like, FaZe and Spirit went into triple overtime on map 2 yesterday. That was fantastic Counter-Strike to watch. And yes, Clutch, I am playing DFS for that. I'll talk about those really quick. And that's not why I'm saying watch Counter-Strike. I'm just doing that because I'm going to be watching. I'll put some money on CSGO anyway. The contests are filled already. I don't think. Let me look real quick to see if they put any more. Let me see. Yeah, they don't have any good contests up anymore. But for me, I think these teams are going to score very evenly, and I'm just trying to get off of Kerrigan Kerrigan's going to perform well IRL, but just real talk with lineup construction. Hold on. Just because you did ask about CSGO DFS real quick. And I would cover this stuff too, but the contest salaries are released late in the afternoon. The slates normally start in the morning. There's no viewership for that. But I do want to try and get off of Kerrigan. And I don't want to land on Perfecto. For me, Boom, I don't really want to play Boom as well. I think there's just going to be a huge gap between the top 3 scores on FaZe and the top 3 scores on Navi that you just don't want to be at the bottom. I think Twists is if you're down there, I'd much rather go to Twist than anybody else there. But I love the idea of having FaZe in the captain position, of having FaZe players in the captain positions. Sure, you can put Simple in the captain position, but I love ropes. I love Brokey, and I love Rain. I have Rain and captain in every single one of my lines because he's been playing out of his mind at the Slam. He's had the most damage per round for phase at this major, and so I have Rain and the captain in every single one of my lines. That's the main takeaway. And I'm only doing 3 lines. The contest is only 700 people. It's $10, $30 on that. Just hoping I land on the optimal and win $100 or something there. But yeah, I don't think so. I did. Here. Let's here. We're going way back. I did a video. This is old video. I don't remember. Um, I think it was right when iRacing brought out a new, like, their first new damage model with like actual. I'm trying to find it. Years ago. This was before COVID. Um, yeah. Here, I'll put captions on. I don't really necessarily just want to play this, but let's see if the captions get this stuff. Let's see. Michael Kant. Let me just see. Anyway, and clearly, like, CS:GO and stuff was coming to. I just want to see. Fuck it, I'll just play it. I think we're somewhere around here. Let's actually, I don't think I can play sound through StreamYard. Anyway, I put out a video in September 2019 talking about iRacing's new damage model, and I say in the video, look, we're gonna get Counter-Strike CS:GO, or we're gonna get Counter-Strike DFS on DraftKings, and we're probably gonna get iRacing on DraftKings. So hey, I correctly predicted that we would have iRacing on DraftKings at some point, and Counter-Strike, and esports on these DFS sites. But in terms of PUBG, I don't think you can. I don't think you'd be able to score it well. It would have to be more like a prop site of like finishing, in the top 10. Like FanDuel was doing it for Dr. Disrespect for a while, but it was free entries and stuff. And it was based on like what he would do, how many kills he would have, where he would finish, and things like that. But I don't think you would be able to do PUBG at all. I know we're losing viewers, but the 32 you guys still hearing us on a Sunday, and we've completely gone off the rails about talking about the All-Star race. But I appreciate you guys being here. Next week we'll be doing, actual content. I'll put up quite a bit of content this week. Lean into Charlotte just because I'm gonna be investing a lot into Charlotte and stuff for all 3 series. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. Let me see. Yeah, I love the idea of playing Rain in the captain position. Clutch, that's where I'm at. I have a line. I'll tell you at least my exposures real quick, because not players per se. I have Rain. Okay, I was wrong. So I have Rain in 2 out of my 3 lines in the captain position. And I have 1 line with 2 phase guys in the captain, 2 Navi. I have 1 line with 3 phase, 1 Navi player, and then I have another one with 1 phase and 1 Navi in the captain position. And then those are how I built for the major. But I mean, this is more just for fun, just because I'm going to be there watching the major and stuff. But I think phase wins it. If you do, play Counter-Strike, if you watch the videos I put out, we need phase to win so we can get the diamond coin. Outside of that, the picks have been stellar for the pick'ems. And yeah, that's really about it. I think I'll let you guys go. I'll let you guys enjoy your Sunday. And if you choose not watch or play NASCAR, I'll let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday with your family and stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in, listen to me rant and talk for 45 minutes. And And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being a supporter on Patreon. Being a subscriber and tune in these videos. So we'll see you guys next week.